na matiyag, hindi natitinag sa bawat hamon ng mundo. Katotohanan ang aking aramas, di ako magpapatalo. Teacher mag-reacts, galit sa kasinungalingan. Sa bawat salita, umubulusok ang katotohanan. Walang palusot, walang takas sa mali. Ako'y revolusyonaryo sa harap ng mga salbahe.
Yon, welcome back sa Teacher Mark Reacts. Ang pag-uusapan natin, ito si Professor Malou Tequia at ang isang analyst, no, na si Alan Herman, no? Pag-uusapan nila yung impeachment ni VP Sara at yung midterm polls, no? Tara na't makinig, no? Bago ang lahat, gusto ko muna kayong batiin ng magandang gabi. Ayan kay Mariana Nale, Raziel's dad, Maylene, Pablo Rakim, Nora Dijong, Gail, shoutout sa inyo, 33, Eldrick, Konohamaro, Inzumigi, Shelo, MGN Vision, Chi, DJP, Mark Calzon, ayan, Notski, Cesar Gabriel, Margo, Pepay, Sama, ayan, GBA, Tayamik, D, Lele, shoutout sa inyo, JRP Creative, shoutout. So ito, no, sa ating Facebook, nandyan din si Juliet Bravo Alpha at si Vega LQ. Ayan, si Led Vega. Binigyan ng budget na pwedeng wag sabihin saan gagamitin. Taas nung ginamit at walang naibigay na resibo, papagalitan at iibig ka. Pero mga kasama mong nagbigay ng budget, safe lang. Diba? Chacha Kival, ayan. Di, shoutout sa'yo. Mang Temyong, shoutout. So ito, umpisa na natin.
Founder and CEO and political analyst Malou Tequia. Also joining us is campaign strategist Alan Herman, who is also the president and CEO of Agents International. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for waking up early to be my guest
What
for
a
today.
privilege.
Thank you very much.
What a privilege not only to be at the pilot, guest at the pilot episode, but to be with one of my idols, Malou, an industry beacon. And hey, I'm looking forward to talking about this firefight that's about to happen.
Correct. Well, it is one day
one day
before
before.
the official kickoff of the national campaign period.
That's right.
And we are in the midst of a complex political climate, the midterms coming up, but also an impeachment complaint in tow. That's why we invited both of you
Right.
to help us, sink that in.
Or at
Wow, Mang Temyong. Baka magunos dili ka, ha? Gusto mong ma-doghouse.
attempt to make sense
Or
of this
make sense
jigsaw.
of the whole situation, right? This impeachment complaint was in the House for almost about 2 months.
Yeah, thereabouts.
And then
A little
Over 3 years?
Yeah.
2023.
Oh, three.
They already started with it.
Well, the official filing
The
was
official filing was like
October,
4
I
months.
think. Yeah, October. Since
Correct.
October.
And in the past week, it was a whirlwind, right? It just was sped up and sent over to the Senate. And I want to get your thoughts
Sure.
on what happened here. What caused the change of mind? Was there anything in particular, or to be more specific about my question, was the president, do you think, behind it?
Well, my sense, yes, because in politics, things are planned. When it happens, there's actually planning in it. The son signed as number one, and that the bookend was the speaker at 215 tells a lot. My only worry there is that they sat on it for 3 months with the 3 impeachment, and then suddenly they came up with the 4th impeachment, which actually violated the rules. So I don't know how they will be able to explain that when they transmitted it to the Senate. It was just a certification, and the articles of impeachment was not included.
What?
Ayun lang. Ay, certification lang. Wala yung articles of impeachment. So, paano yun? Kaya itong dalawa, no, itong Senado at yung House of Representatives ngayon, di ba tapunan sila ng putik? Kanina, press con si Chihuahua, tapos si Asidre. kung ano-anong sinabi tungkol sa Senado. O tas pagdating sa Senado, sumagot. Ang sumagot si Chis Escudero. At matagal na rin sinasabi ni Chis Escudero na teka, huwag nyo kaming gahulin sa oras, di ba? Hindi naman kami yung inupuan. Yung impeachment complaint, inupuan nyo ng 2 buwan tapos nag-railroad kayo ng impeachment complaint, kasalanan namin. Parang ganun yung gustong sabihin ni Chis Escudero. Oh.
The
Why did they
articles of
violate the
impeachment
rules?
came out as a press release. They violated the rules because the 4th impeachment should have been referred to the Speaker, and the Speaker has 10 days to include it in the order of business. That was not done. What was done was on
That
The
day.
last day.
the last day, they actually pressured everyone to sign. And that signing, it was not referred to the Speaker, it was not included in the order of business. What was included was the 213 votes, and it was informed in the House.
But
that,
isn't this the shortcut version?
It
you
is
can
the
have-
shortcut.
You
Shots
can collect
fired.
1/3
That's true.
of
But
votes from the
still, you need
congressman.
to refer it to the Speaker for 10 days in order to include it in the order of business. If you notice, Gretchen, there was no explanation of vote on the 1/3, right? And that they referred it on the last day, which the Senate cannot act on it because there is no plenary already. You have to understand that legislative bodies operate on the plenary, not individual members or committees. The plenary has to act on it before anything happens. So when they transmitted it to the Senate, it was like almost 5 p.m.
Yeah, for about
So
4:15.
so what is the Senate supposed to do? Even if the Constitution says it should be immediately tackled, the fact of the matter is there is no plenary, there is no session already.
Actually, the
Teacher talaga ako. Teacher ako. Pero ito kasi, ito yung uniform dito sa Thailand. For private practitioners. Ngayon, kung public practitioner ka, kulay brown. Kulay khaki. Okay?
Senate adjourned earlier
Yes.
than its calendar. Wednesday pa lang, although they had Thursday and Friday, they adjourned earlier. There are options, and we'll talk about that later. I want to know what you heard.
Even
from
then,
behind the
well,
scenes.
first, that's still a point of contention whether the Senate, I mean, the word forthwith is a contentious word being bandied about. But to your question, Gretchen, although our Philippine democracy operates on 3 co-equal branches of government, I think we know from past experience, from decades of watching this political drama, we know that the executive pretty much has the driver's wheel in terms of controlling events, especially for a majority-dominated House.
Dalawang ano na yan dalawang expert na yan nagsasabi that the president has his hands on this. Pero yung presidente laging sinasabi, why? Ako nga nagsabi na na wag gawin Diba? Pero makikita mo rin one way or the other, may hand siya dito dun sa pagtawag ni Sandro.
So, does the president ostensibly have his fingerprints on this impeachment? Probably not. If you wanted to be technical about it, he has made pronouncements saying that, I'm agnostic. I don't want to disturb matters of government business in terms of addressing poverty and whatnot. This is on the back seat, but perhaps those in the know will
Actually, ang
take that
sabi
with a
niya,
grain of salt.
kasi
yeah.
nagkaroon ng press conference nung after nitong ma-declare, ang sabi ni Presidente is parang masyado naman yata tayong believe sa kanya na wala naman siya pakialam doon, he isn't as powerful as people make him out to be, he's given too much credit, and from this point on, he will just be a very interested observer.
Maybe a little self-deprecation on the
I don't think
president's
that's
part.
true.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the GAA, certainly he was involved in it.
Shots fired.
Whoa. Gagi. Sabi naman nila, di daw kasi sabi nila Congressman Ongab, sa sa BICAM tapos sa enrolled bill daw eh. Pero,
Again,
Right? So again, the GAA certainly.
self-deprecation on the
I don't think
president's
that's
part.
true.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the GAA, certainly he was involved in it.
Shots fired again.
Right? So again, I don't see it to
Cannonballs are
be
flying
such.
this way.
But I do remember back in November, after the presser or the Zoom conference of Vice President Sara Duterte, si PBBM, meron siyang statement, may video siya eh. At ang sinabi niya, pursuing the impeachment is a storm in a teacup.
He sure did say
It's a
that.
waste
yeah.
of time.
Yeah.
And biglang nalito lahat, yung mga
Yes,
congressmen. Kung anong
yes.
gagawin, tutuloy ba, hindi, I mean, yun ang tanong ko, what changed here?
And and until now, just to be fair,
ako doon sa nakikita ko, base doon sa tanong ni Gretchen Ho. Okay. What changed here? The bicameral report. Okay, dapat hindi na itutuloy eh. Pero the moment na nagsampa si Atty. Vic at si Kong Ungab, no? It will be talk of the town. Okay, pag-uusapan natin yung kaso na yan. And that is a bad optics for them. Okay? Lalo kila Cheese, syempre tumatakbo uli si Tambi, 'di ba? And the whole Congress. Yung mga involved doon sa BICAM report will be in a bad light. Ngayon, syempre, kailangan nila ng diversion. 'Di ba? Para malihis yung atensyon ng tao from that case, no? Na isinampa nila Atty. Vic, rather. Ito yung ginawa nila. 'Di ba? Ni-railroad nila yung impeachment. Yun nga lang, hindi nila nakita na, teka, but wait, there's more. Ang tinanong lang dun sa SC, constitutionality nung budget. Wala pa yung kaso about you guys. 'Di ba? Yun yung hindi nila nakita na, ayun, nagsampa sila congressman, no? Congressman Bebot. Ng criminal case laban sa kanila.
fair. Until now, he's still officially, the official stand is he is an observer. He cannot directly intervene. By the way, the Constitution prohibits that in the first place. So, what changed?
Yun, dyan pala si Mod, tahimik lang sa Gedli eh. Tinuloy yung impeachment kasi di nila kayang pagtakpan yung anomalya sa vice cam. Exactly. Yun nakikita ko ha. They cannot move eh. 'Di ba? Hindi mahirap i-defend. Kumbaga, until now hindi pa rin lumalabas yung mga papeles na dapat lumabas para ma-prove na mali yung nangyari doon sa vice cam. Na ma-prove na walang anomalya na naganap. Walang ganun. 'Di ba? So, the next thing na kaya nilang gawin, ito.
I'm not sure if, and I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but I think this fits into a
Ayun, sa korte at sa ombudsman daw, sabi ni Eloisa. Ayan, maraming salamat.
long-term strategy. What's happening here is something known as political kneecapping, which I'm sure Malou has vast experience in. You
What does that mean? Help us understand
You're a
that.
volleyball player. You should know what kneecapping is.
When you kneecap your opponent, and the best time is you give your opponent the optimal length of time before you do any such kneecapping, so that their so-called recovery period, think about it like a kneecap injury, is lessened. So you wait until the last
But
minute.
then we're left in an awkward situation.
They meaning?
I mean, everybody's left in an awkward situation, whether or not to do the special session in the Senate, whether this will be tackled during that special session, or if this will be tackled right after the midterm
So it
elections.
tells you what's wrong with this administration. there is no plan. They plan politically,
But then he said it
in
was
the
a
long
plan.
term, yes, there's a plan politically, transactional, but in the long term, there's
Wala.
none. They are subjected to the whims and the caprices of so many players. Very important to see that we are going into elections, to campaign period, and when you file an impeachment, that kind of makes the ground very difficult to read. You are administration, you control the levers of power,
Right.
and yet you throw this impeachment there. So it gravitates certain voter segments to really define their position. One of which are the Dutertes. I think it's very clear that the impeachment is a way to kneecap the Dutertes, whether for 2028, which is beyond, or between the years 2025 to 28. My problem there is the reading of this administration in terms of lame duck. I think this administration went on lame duck in a very, very early period when they did the PhilHealth.
Para mong sinabi, walang kwenta yung napaakaga na walang kwenta, naging walang kwenta yung administrasyon nito. Yagi. Oh.
When they did the budget, when they did the impeachment, those are cards thrown on the table that would, suddenly have a different impact which they failed to measure. So when you go to the ground, people are angry. There is protest vote in terms of the PhilHealth and the GAA. Remember, it will be subject to the Supreme Court oral hearings.
Okay.
So this will add up to the percolation that is happening. And I think that misinformed, misreading of the situation would be to the advantage of the opposition. The problem with the opposition, PDP has not claimed to be the opposition.
Yes.
That is a big problem.
Well, just to take a contrarian point of view, one could also argue that there is great one-upmanship happening also to precisely sway attention away from
All of
the
those,
GAA
right?
and the PhilHealth. Suddenly they throw this
Because some would
impeachment
say
wrench,
some would say
last minute.
that it might have been the reason why this
they
was
were
pursued
Right,
because of
overt.
the issues over the budget.
Correct. I mean, the pillars of communication don't change. There's only avert, attack, and applaud. You're attacking, you're applauding your candidate, and you're averting issues away from
What is
May kilala akong ganun eh.
your
sensitive-
sense
sensitivities.
over the Senate? Over the weekend, several senators made different statements. Like, for
Right.
example, Cheese Escudero says there is no rush, no need to rush this. This will be tackled in proper time. The focus is on giving justice to the whole
Right.
situation. On the other hand, we have Senator Coco Pimentel saying that there are bills that still need to be tackled,
Sure.
and that could happen in a special session at hindi raw forthwith kung mag-aantay pa ng more than 3 months, no? Dahil ang nasa konstitusyon natin, dapat pagkapasa sa Senado, forthwith,
Forthwith, agad.
the Senate shall forthwith proceed.
Right.
What is your read on the Senate?
Okay, bago nila sagutin, no? Ang nakikita ko dito sa Senado, no? They are swaying with the wind. Okay? Parang ayaw rin nilang mailagay doon sa situation na sila yung may stuck. So they're just, well, sinabi nyo na kami yung may problema. Well, hindi kami yung may problema. Siya yung may problema. Ang sasabihin naman ng isa, no? Well, hindi kayo dyan. Hindi ako, kayo dyan yung may problema. Di ba? Parang nagpapasahan sila ng bola kung sinong maputukan. Di ba?
Well, right now, I think the Senate is trying to, and I just smiled at somebody who waved at me. Sorry about that. The Senate, I think right now,
Meron naman tayong nagdidibang dyan araw-araw. Kagami sama. Si Kayo, nagdidibang dyan. Mahiling magdibang ng mga mga aw-aw
are really on ice, meaning to say they are standing on shaky ground. And if I were a senator, if I was a sitting senator, especially if I was running for re-election, I would want to push this under the rug as far as I could. Because again, the dynamics of a Senate election are the political calculus when you're running for a Senate is that
Wow! Ang dami nang nag-claim kay Gretchen. Naku, patay tayo dyan.
70% of your votes will come from retail votes or free market votes, and only 30% from machinery at the Senate level. So you're thinking, I'm going to end up alienating the Duterte votes, the Iglesia votes. Maybe this isn't the best thing for me to be voting on right now. Maybe let me run away from this as far as I can and try to remain as vanilla and as Switzerland as possible. So they're in a tenuous spot.
Especially after the show of power
Right,
over at
right,
the
right.
INC rally,
Exactly.
right? Then how about you? Wouldn't it be something?
Feeling ko, Super Marco, nasa ano ka, no? Nasa TV ka, no? Lumilitaw yung mga ganyan sa TV, no?
Couldn't it be a bastion of power if they actually use this platform? If they had the impeachment trial during the midterm elections, somehow to change things on the ground. If things were not in your favor as a re-electionist.
It's going to be very hard to have an impeachment during the campaign. That's one.
Agree.
Why? Because impeachment is very political. And to a certain degree, you will right away be graded or evaluated by voters based on what you do during the impeachment. And you're talking of 12, 7 of which are running for re-election and 5 are retiring.
Correct.
So those things need to be factored in. My sense, the pressure is on the Senate, but I'm thankful that Senate President Escudero rose up to the challenge and really said, if you call a special session refers to bills, not to impeachment. And forthwith in the Constitution, did not take into consideration that it was going to be an adjournment. An adjournment in legislation means everything stops unless the chamber authorizes the committees to continue with their work. But that does not cover impeachment. That does not cover plenary. Yun yung hindi naiintindihan ng mga tao. Ang plenary is where decisions are made. Plenary would mean all of them present.
They need a session to convene themselves as an impeachment court.
Well, that's one. And that is plenary. Second is the adoption of rules, which is plenary. Because the Senate, I don't think they have updated the rules on impeachment. And then third, an agreement on the calendar on when the impeachment court will meet. So I was so I was so surprised that that the House immediately named their prosecutors without waiting for the Senate to convene.
Diba? Masyadong advance yung House. After nila ibigay, after nila sabihin na, ito, 100 or 215 ang pumirma dito sa impeachment complaint. Meron na agad silang, yung mga natin, mga prosecutors natin, eto. Diba? Hindi pa nga natalakay sa Senado, pero may prosecutors na sila. Doon sa mga mga botante dyan, kung ayaw nyo yung mga prosecutor na yon, alam nyo na gagawin. parang hinang nyo silang gano'n. Eto, gagawin ko tong prosecutor labang kay VP Sara. Anong gagawin nyo rito?
As a court, the tradition has been let the Senate convene, and from that time, they send a transmittal to the House saying, we have transmitted and please name your prosecutors. Dito talagang plinansya So
11.
magugulat ka, anong agenda? Ang agenda ba to make it a political issue? Which is a wrong reading.
With your indulgence, Gretchen, I hope you don't mind. I'm curious though, why are the pro-Duterte supporters, why do they seem to be supporting a prolonged or a delayed Senate trial, when in fact, would you say that it would benefit the administration if the new senators can...
I do not even agree that the new Senate, the 20th,
The 20th
Senate
can.
has,
Even there's
because
no
that's a
continuation.
new
Yes.
constitution already.
And non-legislative, right?
Yes. So the problem there, tactically, the 1-year ban
Yeah. In Congress.
in Congress.
In Congress. There's a 1-year ban in Congress. But the
Congress.
Senate actually...
But you
at
cannot
least-
start another one.
Well, Justice Carpio, at least for his... he believes that the 20th can
Crossover.
Yes,
Crossover.
yes.
Diba? Well, marami ang nagsasabi na no. No, sorry, pero marami ang nagsasabi na no. They cannot cross over yung impeachment ipo-proceed ng 20th. Well, anyway, no. That's for them to decide. Wala naman tayo sa pwesto, no. And syempre, iba't ibang abogado, iba't iba yung take nila sa batas. Okay? So we'll just get there when we get there, kumbaga. Well, anyway, no, maraming salamat sa panonood. And up next natin, yung kaso ni Tambi. Naku, tayo dyan. Mas lalong magiging rabid, no? When I mean rabid, mas mapangahas yung mga protektor ni Tambi kasi nga, abay, mahawalan sila ng palatubigan eh. So, anong kailangan natin gawin? Diba? Protektahan natin yung palatubigan natin para hindi mawala. Tuloy-tuloy yung agos ng tubig, kumbaga. Diba? Rabid tulbo, iba yun. Well, yung rabid na nag-uuwi ng Pampers. Kaya lamang guys, this is Teacher Mark out. Bye-bye guys.
Sa bawat komento, ang boses ko'y matatag. Katotohanan ang gabay sa harap ng mga malalakid. Walang kinikilingan, tapat sa bawat salita. Teacher Mark reacts, naghahatid ng wagas na talakayan. Walang bahid, walang bias, ang katotohanan ay aking armas. Sa bawat issue, ako'y laging nandyan.